I want to warn you. The farther we climb as drummers, the more we're at risk of hitting an invisible ceiling, limiting our potential. It'll rip the soul from all your ideas, mutilating your drumming until it's cold and motionless husk. Dude! Sorry. One of my heroes, Dennis Chambers, tried to warn us.
The most important thing when you sit and play an instrument, whether it's keyboards, bass, guitar, any instrument, the most important thing of doing that is like you have to sit and listen to what's going on around you. You know, sometimes I go out to some clubs, you know, all over the country, you know, just to check out to see what's going on, what's the scene like, and you know, I walk away from it, you know, like not feeling anything because nobody sit and played any music. These days, everybody, or not everybody, but most of the younger guys, they're sitting playing a lot of chops. Every time there's a hole, they feel like they have to fill it up. If you're not listening to what's going on around you, as Bruce Lee would say, you miss all of the heavenly glory.
So that's what I found myself doing, and it creeped me out. How I chose my ideas. My play style was becoming static and monotone and one-dimensional. It was gross. And obvious. I could watch old videos of my playing. Emotionless drumming. Weird. When you improvise, are you thinking about what to play or what to say? If you drum only thinking about what you're going to physically play, that's about what happens. You play a chop, independent from the music. Sure, the music is happening and so is your playing, but they're not really related. It's like two people talking, but they're not listening to each other. Doesn't make for a meaningful conversation. So I thought, if music is a universal language and drumming is a voice within that language, what makes speech different? Well, speech uses nuance to convey deeper meaning, subtlety, variations in tone, stressing certain words. Inflection is using dynamic variants within patterns in order to apply them to music with the same principles that govern speech. Time to choose an example. These dice have patterns on them. Let's roll one. Step 1. Move it around the kit, accenting each individual limb. Step 2. Experiment over some music in 16th notes. But hold up, this is important. As drummers, we've worked pretty hard at taking our ideas from our head to the kit. But all of those mechanisms, like the temptation to improvise, you're gonna need to shut off for this. Now, it might take 2 minutes or 2 hours, but eventually you're gonna really wanna switch up the sticking to make it all work out. Don't. Think of this urge to deviate from the pattern as a mental barrier that you have to push through. That's what kept me focused on using the song as a training exercise versus simply playing to the music. Stick to the pattern, no matter what. If you do this, your brain will gradually shift what you're working on to more of a subliminal background role in your thought process. Once that happens, you've freed up more mental CPU for creativity, and at that moment, the barrier is gone. Step 3, switch up the note value. Try 8th and 16th note triplets. Think about the characteristics of each pattern you experiment with. What sorts of emotions did it steer you toward? Are there any standout beats or fills it can create? The more chops and patterns you work on inflection with, the larger your drumming vocabulary. It's more than just playing with dynamics. This allows you to extract the full range of what each pattern is capable of saying. I met Dennis Chambers in 2004, and I asked him, from your view, can you see what's next? And I'll never forget, he said, well, I'm going on tour with Santana, and then I have some other things. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I meant with how far you've climbed as a player. Is there a ceiling off in the distance? I guess I'm wondering, does it end? And he said, oh, no,